Hello, friends, Earth citizens, and fellow fringe dwellers. Thank you for tuning in again. The topic of this video will be about the solar flashes. I'll be very matter-of-fact about it at first, and then explain more about it and sources later. So, coming out of a hypnosis session in January of 2019 with Mary Kennedy, who is the hypnotherapist that I worked with. She was asking me why I was contacted, why me, why our group, reasons of why these aliens in this multi-species group wants to contact us. And one of the specific pieces of information that I went home with from that session is something about the year 2021 and the next 2 years from the time that I was having that session and even before when I was contacted, and then up until about 2021 when something would happen. And somehow this 2 year time period is a vital time period for me and others to be doing something, or whatever happens in this time period is very vital for our future. I didn't understand what that was at first because I had never thought about the year 2021. I was only just barely getting into 2019 at that time, and so I wasn't clear on what they were telling me or what they had told me. So it took me some months, actually, quite a while to listen to some speakers, look at different sources, and get a good idea of what that 2021 prophecy or date could be, or that bit of information that they were telling me about. And what I've come to the conclusion of is that they came here in their sphere ship, the Greys and the Mantis beings, and possibly other races who traveled with them here in August of 2018. And they came at this time to check up on me again, as well as others they are in contact with. The purpose of them coming at that time is to prepare us as a species, or to be a part of this preparation for this inevitable date that they were telling me about, this event that will happen. We'll call it the solar flashes. I call it either the solar flashes or solar waves event. It is an event that our sun will go through. I'm expecting 2021 still, sometime in the year 2021. Basically, the sun goes through cycles of being dormant and being more active, and it goes through, I think, 11-year cycles of having these episodes of having more sunspots and emission periods where it can even affect Earth's electronics, and that's very well known with these solar flares that we measure and observe. But then it also goes through these longer periods, just like Earth does, of either being very active or very dormant, and it goes through these periods of how it affects us with its electrical field and magnetic field, and how that field affects Earth. Our sun will go through this major emission period. I expect it to be something similar to a 360-degree, basically coronal mass ejection, like 360 degrees solar flares, basically just being emitted off of the sun itself, going in all directions. And it could even be strong enough to penetrate Earth's magnetic field. A lot of people have been talking about this, big shots and elites and insiders and whistleblowers and you name it, over the past few years especially. And for many years, people have been talking about insulating our electrical grids, which has not been done for the most part around the world, except I hear that there may be projects to do that in Texas and Afghanistan. It's really important because a lot of people know that if a giant X flare um, comes off of the sun and points directly at Earth, then our grids literally could be wiped out. Possibly, we'd be without electricity for years, and so many of us depend on electricity, and there would be loss of life. But what I expect largely is that there will be an enhancement of human consciousness from this solar wave or solar waves um, when this happens. And I don't know to what degree, it probably depends on the individual, but also the collective and the state of the collective at the time. Because what will happen is that not only as our solar system is traveling around the Milky Way galaxy, it's traveling um, into one section of the Milky Way galaxy and space that I've heard multiple sources call the photon band. Corey Good also talks about a cloud of gases, cosmic gases, that we're being exposed to and have been for some time now. And it will get more intense as we move into this new area of space in the Milky Way galaxy. Earth and all its creatures will be changing, and we see this. The good will get better, the bad will get badder, and the crazy will get crazy, and the ugly will get more and more ugly, and so forth. So basically, everything that we are, everything that we think, everything that we believe, and everything within each individual and the collective will be enhanced, which is why it's so important for people to have been meditating for the past, especially few years, and doing work on themselves, healing work, self-cultivation work, introspective investigations of who you are and understanding your life purpose more, basically working towards ascension, a state of ascension where um, as individuals and a collective, we will be more and more enlightened, more conscious of the earth, more conscious of our effect on the earth, polluting less, being less wasteful. So all of this that we are right now, when this solar event happens, get enhanced to a major degree. And that is most likely, it will certainly affect our consciousness. There is a possibility that, a very strong possibility, that this will be a very, very intense solar event that will most likely wipe out electrical grids and activity on Earth. Will basically be sent back to something equivalent to Stone Ages, agrarian type societies, and we will have to get back into everyone practicing agriculture and doing the basics to get food and water and take care of each other. Hopefully, take care of each other and not riot and loot and kill each other too much, which could happen and is very likely. If the grids suddenly go down, there will be rioting and looting in the cities. And this is a very important point. I'm not a fearmonger, I don't want to be. I don't want to worry people. But I do worry about what could happen, and it's important to be prepared. And if everything just goes dark suddenly and we can't have access to normal water pumps and um, electricity and our normal ways of life, modern ways of life, then I do expect that there will be widespread looting, rioting, mugging, likely murders from some people. Um, there will also likely be some sharing and coming together and banding together and sharing resources as we need them. Otherwise, there will be widespread loss of life, and there probably will be initially, but there will be many survivors too. And I have confidence and hope that everything will turn out more towards a positive outcome than a negative outcome. I will talk about that momentarily. So, what could happen, there are some different ways that I've heard that this event could go down. One potential that Corey Goode explained on Cosmic Disclosure with David Wilcock is that the sun will literally, the surface of it will be like one large corona, basically brown spots all over it. Our sun will basically be dark, possibly for a number of days. I'm not a biblical person or a biblical prophet, but it could end up being something similar to the 3 days of darkness that has been described in the Bible that we still have not seen to come yet, if that will happen. If that happens, and if the sun suddenly goes dark and basically emits this gigantic coronal mass ejection and sends out a big wave suddenly that wipes out electrical grids, there could be widespread loss of life, but at the same time, there could be um, a lot of extraterrestrial contact because we do have alien allies out there and around us all the time and that are within and on and around this planet at all times. And there are too many species, too many enlightened ones, too many friends and allies that care about the existence and survival and ascension of humanity to let us all die. They can't save all of us, but they will not let us all die. And if this happens, then our world could literally go dark. The sky will turn into a night sky. Everyone will see stars. But what could happen if the sun goes dark like that is we may see countless numbers of alien ships coming down towards Earth to intervene and help people survive and help us to this event. If they don't do that physically, then I do guarantee that many people will have contact energetically, astrally, in their dream time, indirectly in one way or another. And they will help guide us, at the very least, because they are guiding many of us and preparing many of us for this event. Our allies are. One important topic that I would like to talk or touch on quickly is that we should be preparing for the worst. Everyone should be. As citizens, as individuals, as families. Also, ideally, I do hope that some areas of either the United States or North America or other countries too will be able to insulate their electrical grids or some parts of it before this event may wipe them out and make them um, inactive. And if we can do that, if some areas can do that, then I do hope that when this event happens, there won't be too much death, but also even if the grids go out, then those areas of the planet that have protected grids will be like the utopian safe haven, basically powerhouses of the planet, and hopefully they will be able to help uh, other areas rebuild and reactivate their electrical grids so that we can go back to somewhat of a normal modern way of life. Even if the worst happens, I do want everyone to know that there will be consciousness renaissance from this event. It's inevitable, it will happen, and that is an aspect of this. What I've learned from Corey Goode and David Wilcock, and other sources that I've heard from is that our sun is connected to other stars throughout the cosmos, basically like a cosmic web, kind of like I think of it as an arterial circulatory system throughout the cosmos, and each star talks to other stars, and every star has its time or phase when it has to go through this event, solar wave event. Every solar system has to deal with this, and many of our alien allies, the ones who are enlightened, are actually from planets orbiting stars that have gone through this transition. For some planets, it may have been easier than others or more difficult. One way or another, they went through this transition, and their collective consciousness had to evolve. But just because this will happen to us, and just because our individual psychic abilities and collective consciousness will start to awaken more, does not mean that we're going to become enlightened right away. It just means that more people will have enhanced abilities which are natural to us. And when that happens, we will still need to do healing work on ourselves. We still need to do mental evaluations, spiritual evaluations, constantly tune into who we are energetically, tune into our spirits, how we are behaving, how we are acting, how we are coming across to other beings, how we may be affecting other people on the planet, as well as uh, we need to tune into what our life purpose is as individuals, and whether or not we are actually fulfilling our contracted life purpose on this planet. So there will be a lot of work to do still, even after this event, because I know that even though there are a lot more people awakening and on their path towards healing and enlightenment, there's still a lot of people who are stuck in the old ways of being, and who are stuck in the old political systems and social systems and governmental systems and religious systems, to name a few. Many people will have to drop their biases, um, and so on. It will be a very complicated thing, and I can talk more about what to do to prepare for that spiritually, possibly in another video. Before I end this, though, I would like to cover several of the sources that I've learned about this event from. Not just the Gray and Mantis beings, who initially taught me about this event or warned me about this in 2018, but also the sources that I've learned about this from since then, and who helped me put this all together. There's Corey Good, who has allegedly been in contact with a group called the Blue Avians, tall blue avian alien humanoids, who told him about this, and other beings from what he calls the Sphere Being Alliance. Corey Good can be watched on YouTube and other internet platforms. I've been listening to Coast to Coast AM for many years, and I would hear Major Ed Dames on there here occasionally, and I didn't really put it together until recently. I heard him talking about the kill shot event, what he calls the kill shot, but I didn't understand what that was until recently after I learned more about this solar waves and solar flashes event. Major Ed Dames is a former Army remote viewer. He was involved in the 1970s and 80s in the initial projects conducted by the U.S. Army and Navy and CIA to utilize individuals' remote viewing capabilities for spying purposes. He has materials out on the internet, and I will link a video down below. There will be links down below in the description of some sources that people can reference to learn more about this event and what people are saying. Anyway, Major Ed Dames calls it the kill shot event because he thinks from his remote viewing of this event that this will basically be a giant X flare that will burst out of the sun when it's pointing directly at Earth at the right moment, and it will be strong enough to basically wipe out our electrical grids, which may happen, but I think that it will be more like waves, and it will come in waves, possibly multiple episodes of it that will literally wipe our planet clean of most of our electrical activity. The next human source that I heard about this prophecy from this event is named Nikki Jacobs. She's one of my good friends, a very talented psychic medium. She has been public on Facebook and some other platforms about her psychic abilities and what spirits are telling her about things. She's on internet radio shows occasionally talking about these hits and predictions that she gets. And she's actually the first person who used the term solar waves. And so as soon as I heard her say that earlier this year in a radio show that she was on, I knew exactly what she meant, and I didn't even know that she was tuned into this future event. But there's a lot that she has to say about it, and a lot that she's seen about what is to come just from this event alone. Those are a few of the human sources that I've heard from about this event. But that's not all. There's, I think, at least 2 or 3 more that I'd like to talk about who are not human, but more of an extraterrestrial nature. One of them is a blue-skinned Pleiadian woman who contacted me in my dream time some time back. I've been aware of the blue-skinned Pleiadians for a while now. I believe that I actually had a past life with their race on their planet near the star Alcyone over 200,000 years ago in Earth time, but that's a different subject. It's like literally sitting down with a human right in front of me, but she had blue skin. In this dream, I was basically, I was sitting down at a table, but it was kind of a large table, and there were definitely other beings, extraterrestrial beings in that dream. It was kind of like an intergalactic conference or meeting of some sort. I don't remember all of what was said or what happened or the other beings, but I remember very clearly this one blue-skinned Pleiadian woman sitting right in front of me to my right, and we made eye contact, and she gave me telepathic. She was talking to me about this near future event, this solar event, which many of our alien allies are very concerned about, and they've been talking to many people about preparing us for this event. One more major extraterrestrial contact I would like to talk about is I refer to him as my Neptunian friend. I'm not sure if I should use his real name on here. I didn't know there were beings of any sort or life on Neptune because it's quite a harsh environment. As far as I've been able to sense basically with my communications with him, he hasn't shown me his true form, but I sense that he may be some sort of a plasma or energy-based being. Not much of a carbon-based being like humans are. I will talk about some things he's helped me with in another video. I know that he's real. He's been able to make physical changes on this planet and change my life physically and energetically. And I was talking to him about this event at one point. He can communicate with me very clearly when I make contact with him. He gave me this specific date. I don't want to say specific dates or claim that this will happen on this day, but he told me the date January 21st, 2021, as a very possible date that this solar flash event could occur in our near future timeline, because he's operating fourth, fifth, and like sixth dimensional, not even 3D like most Earthlings are. So he can see strong probabilities in our near future, and he just gave me this date, but I'm not going to say that it absolutely will happen on that day, because I don't want to do that and then possibly be wrong if it doesn't happen yet on that day. But I guarantee everyone on this planet, I swear on my ancestors, that this solar event will occur. It is a near future event. Everyone should take it very seriously. We all need to be preparing for it. One last suggestion I would like to give: don't panic, don't riot and loot. To prepare for this event, what you should be doing is scouting out different areas if you don't have a place in mind already. Create basically a safe place for you, where you know that you'll be safe, where you know that you'll be able to travel to in a reasonable amount of time, where it's not too far away if your car is even still working, but also somewhere kind of remote and secure, somewhere away from major cities, because cities full of lots of people will most likely be rioting and looting zones. I recommend to keep weapons with you as you travel, with emergency food, emergency supplies, and your friends and family. When this event occurs, if all of our electronics just shut down or whatever happens, and I know that it will be very obvious when this does occur, we will all know very quickly. Be ready to pack up your most essential items and your closest loved ones. Basically, make a bolt to that place where you know that you'll be safe and be able to live for a while. Have a plan, maybe even make a plan with your friends and family now so that you know where to rendezvous so that you can survive together. I'm very hopeful for this event because I've seen glimpses of the future. I know that the future will be bright, and I'm not here to die, and most of us aren't either. This is happening for a reason, for us to grow and evolve. And I don't want to be expecting the worst, but it is good to prepare for the worst. So please keep a positive mind about this. Be prepared. Don't be too afraid. I will be talking about this event in future videos too to come. Hopefully it doesn't create the worst case scenarios on Earth, but I know that I'm not alone, and we are not alone. So thank you for tuning in again. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, especially share, because I want to get this message out. I want to get this word out. I want people to know about this event. Be kind to each other, be humble, and stay safe, stay well, and do what you can to work on yourself, please. Take care until next time. Thank you.